and you just shampooed your hair, you're like running and like your hair was like oh.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. He's gonna be my husband one day and I'm gonna have all his babies. What's goody perps? It is me, Violet Tiffany, aka Pretty in Purple, and we are here with
Xavier,
the fiance, who's going to be
beautiful in purple.
Yeah, beautiful in purple.
This one, not me. I'm not going to be wearing purple.
I leak purple. You're gonna eventually get purple on you.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not want to marry this?
I mean, she's okay. She's okay. So we are going to answer your questions. I asked what you guys wanted to ask Xavier and myself in a video a few weeks back. So we're gonna do that today. I actually did get a lot of questions, but I kind of compiled them all on a list because some of them were asked like more than once. So I just kind of put them all together for questions specifically for myself, questions specifically for X, and questions specifically for both of us. So we're gonna jump right in. Like a rabbit.
All right, all right.
That's what rabbits do. Jump right in. First question. Who will my bridesmaids be? And my bridesmaids are going to be Carolyn, Kim, those are my two best friends, Rebel, and my two sisters, Jasmine and Crystal. Where would our honeymoon be? And that is going to be in...
That was a collective question.
Was that two of the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a question for both of us then. And where is it going to be?
It will be in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
The only place that is currently open at the moment.
Yeah, I've actually seen some people on YouTube like enjoy themselves there now during whatever this thing is that's going on right now. Next question.
We definitely have talked about expectations in marriage. We've talked about counseling, and it's not that I'm against counseling. I want to try to do things in-house as much as possible without having third parties involved. And it's not that I don't trust other people or any of those things of that nature, whatever the case may be, but I figure that if we can't work things out, yeah, I know sometimes we do need external help, third-party help, but I want to try to do as much as we can, go as far as we can, with our own strengths and experiences, because I feel like that's a really good growing experience. And yeah. So we haven't seeked out marriage counseling at the moment
yet. Yeah. But I mean, if we ever get to a place, God forbid we ever get to a place where we absolutely need it, then
we won't be.
That would, yeah, I agree. Are you guys planning on starting a family within the next few years?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, for
there
sure.
Will be a lot of baby making very soon.
I don't know about very soon. We still have a big wedding.
There will be a lot of baby making. When you saw each other for the first time, what attracted you? So, I'll take the lead on this one. I have an ability to look at people's overall energy and just in general see what they're about. some people will be like, oh, you know, this is, you know, esoteric or whatever, but it's really not. I mean, I don't know if it was just a gift from God or whatever the case may be, but we first had our first date at a bowling alley after talking for a couple of months, right?
Yeah.
And the first time I saw her, it was pretty freaking awesome. We had, you know, done some bowling, and I let her win on the little paddle things or whatever.
You let me win?
Oh yeah, I had to make you feel good.
Nice.
And all jokes aside though, I mean, like, I could already tell, like, the energy was good. The energy was genuine. It was legitimate. Just from bowling, and, like, you know, she would hit a strike or would do, you know, clear the pins or whatever, and we'd slap each other's hands and be like, yo, good job, you got that. You know, you did good. And that was the first time meeting somebody and they were able to match you on your own energy. Not to mention that we had tons and tons and tons of really deep intellectual conversations prior to meeting. So those were things that were really, really, really important that attracted me to her. I was already attracted, and it was almost like meeting somebody you really fell in love with without meeting them already.
That's a good answer.
Your turn.
Okay, so the first time when I saw you, or like the first time like when we first started speaking? Because the first thing that I noticed when we first started speaking was just how great your grammar was. I'm like, you're laughing and stuff like that, but that's a huge thing for me. I would text you and stuff, you'd use the right punctuation, you didn't misspell anything, everything was like so perfect, and my heart was like and of course you were an attractive person, of course, physically, but that is something else that I noticed was the grammar thing. And then the first thing that I noticed when I first like met you and stuff, what attracted me to you was the fact that you weren't flirting or anything with me. So you weren't being like aggressive like most guys would be, especially on a first date. And I'm like, wow, he's very, very different from most people. And that was I guess that was like the beginning of something beautiful. But yeah, the grammar was definitely the biggest thing.
Really? Just the grammar?
No, the grammar definitely is a huge thing.
What is your favorite thing to do together? I would say we discussed this a little bit. I mean, we like to entertain together. If you look over there, we have a projector, and we basically have like a 120-inch screen with a Bluetooth speaker, and we love to just watch really cool stuff. She's into horror movies. I like them too. We're into we watch all of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Right now we're doing Resident Evil from the beginning all the way to the end, and then
the Twilight Zone.
And the Twilight Zone. I mean, honestly, the Twilight Zone is super underrated. If you're watching this video, start watching the Twilight Zone, and you'll see that some of the stuff's predictable. I mean, yeah, it's like 50, 60 years old, but it's actually really good stuff. So I would say that, yeah, we like being entertained together, watching media together. One of the other things, I don't mean to take full command and control, but one of the other things is we love outdoors together. Last year, before this whole thing happened, we winded up going to New York. I wound up showing her a few of the spots that I used to hike quite often at, and she enjoyed herself rather extensively.
Yeah.
So did the Rocky over there.
Yeah, everybody knows Rocky.
Anything else you'd like to add to that? I mean,
besides, yeah, we love doing like outdoor things, camping, and also we have like this one beach that we love going to. We love hanging out at that beach and other beaches. We have a lot of things that we really enjoy together, but those are like the top stuff.
In the outdoors, I mean, I guess you're like a modern day hippie.
I guess so. I never thought of it that way before.
What are you looking forward to most about marriage?
looking forward to most? I'm excited about like owning a home and everything together. I'm excited that we can start, not really start, but I guess continue building up like on traditions and stuff. And just be excited about that and just like really grow together and build off of each other and help each other further ourselves in like our careers and everything. And we could do it as a team with me taking on your last name and process.
Is that a problem?
It's not a problem at all. But it's gonna be different with me just doing it by myself. Now, you know, we're like, I mean, we've been a team, but we'll be like an official team, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
You agree?
Definitely agree with everything. All right, number 7. Do you think you will cry, get emotional on our wedding day?
I thought about that before. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'll be fine. And then other times I'm like, that probably would be emotional. I really don't know.
I think I might get a little misty-eyed.
You think so?
Knowing everything that we've been through and everything that we have discussed and everything, I mean, that's kind of awesome. I mean, no one should judge us. We shouldn't judge ourselves if we're gonna get misty-eyed or even cry.
Oh, not at all.
I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, and it's pretty freaking awesome.
Hey, when did I know Xavier was the one? When did I know? Not the shallow answer, or can I give both? There's gonna be like 2 answers to like everything. So, the shallow, when I knew that he was the one, that was the time when you wanted to give me that gift and you came out to the car to give it to me. And you just shampooed your hair, you were like running and like your hair was like, oh.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. He's gonna be my husband one day and I'm gonna have all his babies. But the unshallow part, if that's a word, unshallow, when I knew you were the one was the time when, I don't even think you remember this, but like, I think we were texting whatever and then you were upset with me and then I hadn't heard from you in a long time. And then I started getting like really worried. I'm like, am I gonna hear back from him again? Is he okay? And I was like really like, just like worried for like the whole day. And then when I did hear from you, I was like so relieved. And then I was like mad at you at the same time. And I realized I was mad because like, I'm like, oh gosh. Like I really think like, you know, like he's the one, because I was like that affected by not hearing from you. And like that would, most people would consider like a short amount of time, but to me it seemed like it was like a really long time. That's when I knew.
One of my questions are, my sticky notes didn't magically delete themselves.
Whatever.
It's actually kind of a part 2 of what has already been discussed as far as what are you looking forward to most in getting married. And we kind of discussed this slightly already. I would say having a life partner to share experience with and build a future with. And we kind of discussed that with having a house and children and stuff. Realistically though, I'm looking to see how far we're gonna go, how much we're gonna grow, how much we'll go collectively together and individually. Because, I mean, I think the minute you stop growing is the minute you start dying, if you want the truth. So, yeah. I mean, all the fun the future holds, and feeling secure of always having someone having your back. Plus whatever unforeseen perks come with it, which I'm looking forward to as well. You're next.
All right, next question. How many kids do you want? However many God blesses us with.
At least 2.
At least 2. And we talked about like having our own kids and even possibly like adopting. So that's, if we're doing adopting, we probably have more than that. What age were you expecting and desiring to be married? Okay. So this is a funny story, and I feel like I did mention this in one of my vlogs a while back, but like when me and my best friend, when we were 18 years old, we made this list of like all the things that we were going to accomplish. Yeah. We made a list of like all the things we were going to accomplish and everything, and we were supposed to be, I think, married with like kids or whatever by like the age of like 23. That didn't happen.
Doesn't matter. You're still gonna be one of those MILFs.
Whatever.
You're gonna be 50 looking like 40, 30.
That would be nice. That would be awesome.
An official cougar, not a panther.
I am not a cougar. I'm not a cougar.
There's an age discrepancy between us two.
Guys, perps, I want to know your opinion. How big of an age gap is it before you are considered a cougar? That's what I want to know. That's going to be the question.
No, it's fine. I mean, I would have been a freshman when you were in a junior in high school, so I'm just ahead of my time.
You're very mature for your age.
So I was also asked the same question. What age were you expecting and being desired to be married? About this age now would be my answer. I always had it in my head that it could have been as soon as my mid-20s, but realistically I was really thinking that it was going to be my late 20s to early 30s, to the point where I would be married. I'll go ahead and take the lead on the next one. I kind of wanted to have a little bit more time to explain this one. It's kind of a deep question, and I think it needs a little bit of time, and yeah. So my question was, what makes you want to marry Violet/Tiffany? So there are a few things, and I had to write an answer down for this one because there is a lot to it, and it's not that I don't have an answer at the top of my head. I mean, obviously you can say she's beautiful, but there are many superficial characteristics such as her unique beauty and the booty. But all jokes aside, seriously, she's an awesome listener. She knows my story. She knows how to want to fulfill deepest desires and thoughts that I share with her. Tiffany has also seen me, unfortunately, at my lowest, and is still here. We were able to have, like I mentioned before, very deep, stimulating conversations that often leave me very amazed at her intellect. And she definitely sells herself short with that one quite a bit. We share a lot of the same goals for the future. Talking about house, healthy children, secure finances, and connections with God are just a few of them. I mean, past her stunning looks, just saying. Her soul is even more beautiful, gentle, kind, understanding, and forgiving. Definitely strong, independent, but like a woman who don't need no man, but wants to accept one, which is a blessing in itself. Tiffany is a bit timid, you know, being an introvert and all. But what I love about her the most is that she's willing to try new things and branch out and still explore the world. I mean, I've traveled quite a bit. I have quite a bit of experience. I've had several different jobs that could have easily been careers. I've mastered very quickly. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that I figured out those things weren't for me, so I moved on to other things. She definitely does have class. Her pedigree and presence brings out the very best of my essence. Yep.
Sweet.
It's not.
Okay. Will you both be at the same church or attend different churches after being married? We will be at the same church. He's not stepping into any other church that I'm not going to be a part of. What are some of your fears with marriage?
Oh yeah, that was the one that was gonna be.
That was a deep
for me.
one?
Yeah.
Fears for marriage. I mean, the absolute worst fear would be, you know, the D word, but that's not necessarily my fear, but I think in general, I think that is kind of what everyone avoids going into. So yeah, that would be my biggest thing, although again, it's not my fear because I don't believe in divorce at all. Marriage is extremely important to me.
We discussed this already.
We have.
Yeah. You're the last one.
Yeah, we are the last ones. There isn't anyone else after this. You know, even, you know, after you're gone and I'm still here, because, you know, I'm gonna outlive you and everything.
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and chime in at this moment. I was asked the same question, what are some of the fears with marriages? And I put, as with all relationships, I know many people fear their partner falling out of love with them or becoming bored with them, letting lust infect their mind and invest in others. That's definitely one of them. I really don't believe that's the same case with Tiffany. I mean, but from my past experiences, that's just kind of one that I need to kind of shut off and kind of not allow to have space and rent space in my mind.
Yeah.
But like I put here, honestly, we have an ongoing joke, kind of a joke bet on who's gonna live longer. So as much as that's funny, I would say one of the fears is prematurely losing your partner, which would really suck.
That's one of mine too.
Yeah.
That was the next thing I was going to mention.
I'm doing everything that I can to take the best care of myself. Exercise, eating right, vitamins, supplements, everything that is going to keep me here as long as possible. And then when she gets buried, I think I told you, because I do have strong genes. Unfortunately, my mom passed early, so did my uncles. My grandfather lived almost to 100 years old, so that is still within my genetics to do so. But I think, I know we're gonna live an amazing life where even if that does happen, we're just gonna check back into our memories and it's gonna be just super awesome. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember that time. I remember that car ride, I remember that travel, I remember that trip.
And that's the reason why I love taking so much pictures and videos, because you can always go back to those memories. And when it works for me, but when I go back and look at those things, it makes me feel as if I'm in that moment again.
Exactly. You're reliving it.
Yeah, and that person is still there and you're still enjoying their time, and it doesn't seem so sad. Everyone's just so happy in that moment, and that's why I enjoy it so much.
By the way, all of this is organic. We did not script any of this other than the answers that I wrote down here that I just wanted to give a little bit of thought to prior to it. So this is 100% organic.
It is.
Yeah.
Alright, so thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. If you guys have any additional questions or anything, let me know. Just leave a comment below. Maybe sometime in the future, after the kids start coming and stuff like that, if you have more questions and stuff, you can ask them away, and we will see you again soon.
You should do a part 2. About like a year or two in, and see where we're at.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
See if we still feel the same way about these questions.
And here's Rocky again, just demanding attention. All right, peeps.
All right, bye.